This show is brought to you by Directory.com, the safest way to hire a contractor.
And we are back. Keep drinking morning coffee, teas, whatever you're drinking with our homeowners. Our next story is about fight over jacuzzi. Clay has the details. Go ahead, brother.
All right, this one's called the Reno Nightmare, quote unquote. We thought the jacuzzi was free because jacuzzis are usually free, right? All right, it started as a storm repair and ended with a fight over a jacuzzi. The question is, are the homeowners unreasonable, or did the contractor mess up when he forgot to put it in writing? Short answer, yes. Here's the details. August 2012, Larry and Linda Vinay's home is flooded by Hurricane Isaac. They hired B&M Renovation to restore the house, and the work is limited to 4 feet above the floor, basically the flood line. The final contract was set at $32,000, with insurance money being held by the bank, Wells Fargo, until inspections were passed. So several months later, the work finally begins in December. And once it got going, the project moved very fast. So D&M completes most of the work in about 3 weeks. And Mr. Vinay lived on site, so he oversaw the work. He was regularly requesting changes and upgrades directly to the owner of the contracting company, D&M, Mr. Ray. So they're talking and he's asking for things to adjust along the way. From December into January, all of these requests start to add up. Mr. Vinay kept making new requests. He wanted to include a second jacuzzi tub, ceramic tile upgrades, more painting, soundproofing, like he's doing all kinds of stuff, new doors, repairs above the agreed upon flood line that was the original contract. And big red flag, all of these requests were made verbally and agreed to verbally. Mr. Ray claimed he told Mr. Vinay these extras would cost more. Mr. Vinay insisted he thought they were included for free. February 2013, payment dispute. Of course, one guy says it should have been this. The other guy says, I thought it was free. The contract required written change orders for any extra work, but no change orders were made in writing. Instead, after the job, D&M presented a bill for $9,500 covering all the extras, and the Vinays refused to pay it. So the legal battle then proceeds for the next 5 years. Mr. Vinay files complaints with the Better Business Bureau, with the Attorney General. Sounds like with anybody that would listen. And D&M puts a lien on his property for the unpaid bill. Wells Fargo held back the remaining insurance funds until the dispute was resolved. If you'll remember at the beginning, the original contract amount was being held by the bank subject to inspection. So there's some oversight here, and Wells Fargo says we're hanging on to the money. At the end, the Vinays sued for defective construction and a wrongful lien, and D&M countersued for the extra money. So ultimately, here's the outcome. The contractor actually won. The court found in favor of D&M Renovation, and the Vinays were ordered to pay that $9,500 for the extra work. The reason why they lost, the court ruled that the contract had been modified by both sides' actions, so the verbal change orders counted. I'll put on my this show is fun for me because I buy and run roofing companies as my day job, but every now and then I get to put my lawyer hat back on. Please, everyone, remember that verbal contracts are contracts. The disputes come because he said versus she said, but when the facts come out that there were verbal agreements, those are contracts. As long as there's acceptance and consideration, that's a contract. So good thing to remember. So the court said that these verbal change orders were contracts and they did count. The Vinays were unable to prove that the work was defective, and the inspections and videos from the contractor supported his claims that basically he did what he said he was going to do. Despite a contract clause, the homeowner's ongoing in-person requests and acceptance of the work overrode the need for written change orders. So that's a good point, right? Like this contract said everything needs to be in writing, but that doesn't override, contract law, which states that these verbal agreements are still agreements, despite what was written into that specific contract. So ultimately, the takeaway for the homeowners is if you want extras, put it in writing. And it's best practice for everybody. I mean, you want to do what you say you're going to do, but the written change order cements it so that everyone's on the same page. Guys, what do you think? Should everything be in writing?
100%.
These verbal agreements that happen on the job site. I mean, how do we feel about this?
Well, for my contractors, if you want to protect your back, if you don't want to be in game of chasing payments, just put it in writing. Be good at the paperwork. You are a contractor, literally. It's in your job description. Contracting, buy materials, and put your scope of work in writing. I remember I did a job here in Minneapolis years ago. I did a contractor to do roof, like $15,000 job, and the roof and the garage were sagging. The job was 45 minutes from my office, and the homeowner said, "Hey, can you fix the second part of the garage?" I've done it many times. Very easy project. You pretty much use jacks like to lift it up, reframe it, so it adds 4 or 5 hours. But I know exactly what it needed. So go to my QuickBooks, send him a change order for $1,500. And he did it on the day of install. A lot of times, homeowners emotional and reactive. And in that moment, when they ask you to do something, they will say anything you want to hear. Can you do this? Can you? And then later, or I thought it was included. It could be as little as like, hey, can you add a shoe mold? Like if you're a flooring contractor, yes, I can, but there's a price with it. It's going to be extra $1,500. I have to go to Home Depot, buy it, right? So for me, I remember because it was a long drive, 45 miles away, 45 minutes, and I sent the worker, and the homeowner would not sign and send it back. I said, I'll drive to you. And I drove, got a signature, and sure enough, when I finished the job, the guy did not want to pay me on time. I waited 30 days, and he told me I have legal right not to pay for 30 days. I mean, he was very hard to deal with, and I'm like, I'm so glad I got it in writing and I drove that day to get the extra $1,500. So if you want to protect yourself as a contractor, put it in writing. But also here, you have $32,000 claim. Insurance money is held by Wells Fargo, so you have inspections, all of that stuff. But I feel like homeowner wanted to take advantage of all the extras. Like a lot of times when people get something for free, like, I mean, it's insurance pay, right? Insurance money is not supposed to improve your property. It's not about improving it. Like take advantage of insurance claim. So if you're getting $30,000, spend extra 10 grand of making your doors soundproof, or improve the paint, improve the whatever like you want to improve. But homeowners look at this as opportunity to, they feel like they won the lottery. This is my opportunity to remodel my house. This is not remodeling. We're just putting back what we're supposed to. I feel like this homeowner was taking advantage of the contractor. That's how I read the story. Riley, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as far as what the contractor was doing here. It definitely seems like they were trying to be a little bit sneaky and what they can get for free here. As far as on the contractor side, everything has to be in writing always. It's just going to avoid any issues like this if they do come up when everything is just documented. So it's best business practice to make sure that any transaction is written. Now, in this case, it wasn't written. It still ruled in their favor, but I would absolutely recommend everything should be in writing for both the homeowner's sake and the contractor's sake, to make sure that both parties are in agreement and know what's going on with the communication there. What we've seen a lot though is contractors will have a change order in place but not necessarily be transparent with the pricing. And so that's where I would say that's
Yeah.
the shady contractor side of it, where you would see the homeowner, "Oh, hey, do you think you can do this drywall patch for me as well?" "Oh, sure, yeah, I'll do that for you." And they send a $3,500 change order. And then
That's
the
not, you have
homeowner's
to
like,
be
"What the
reasonable.
heck, man?" And so I think the transparent pricing there too, which goes back to everything has to be in writing. It just makes the communication process so much easier. You're going to avoid any of these he said, she said moments, and makes it easier for everyone.
I have one more take on this, and this is for my contractors listening, because, sorry, my homeowners, the show is for you, but sometimes you're not in the right either. But for my contractors, stand your ground. I cannot tell you how many times I met a contractor who was literally bullied by the homeowner. Like what do we see here? The homeowner filed complaints with the BBB, with the Attorney General, right? So the contractor, stood his ground. They're like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, you can go to Attorney General, you can go to BBB, you can write me, 5 negative reviews on Google. And a lot of homeowners get nasty like that when disputes happen. But what do we see here? The court found in favor of DMI. The vignettes were ordered to pay $9,500 for extra work. I love it. It doesn't matter how much noise you make. It doesn't matter, like, math is math. Being reasonable is being reasonable. The court will not go in favor with you, rule in favor of you, just because you have the loudest mouth and you just play a victim card. A lot of homeowners do it. And just because you complain to Attorney General and just because you told people how bad of experience you have doesn't make you right. You have what's on paper,
Right.
what's been said, but a lot of contractors don't fight their battles because they think it's a waste of time, but it is not a waste of time. It's protecting your reputation. You lose one or two of those cases, now your reputation is done, and sooner or later you'll have to respond.
Yep. I have one more take too, and it's just expanding on what you said, Dimitri. People think that insurance is paying and that it means that you get this big upgrade for free. Insurance pays for like, kind, and quality to put you back into the same position that you were in prior to that storm happening, right? So if you drive a 2002 Honda Accord and it totals out, they're going to pay for a 2002 Honda Accord, not the brand new one on the lot. Now, good contractors will give you the opportunity to upgrade to something better and nicer above and beyond what insurance is going to pay for. And the ones who try to do it for free, the only way that they can do that is to whittle away in other places. So these people offering free upgrades above and beyond, they're moving the money around, hiding the ball in what they're actually doing. It's a good reminder. And hey, for our contractors out there, like, do what you say you're going to do. Don't overpromise and don't do the extra stuff above and beyond where you've got to then figure out how to make it work and whittle away elsewhere. Like, no good deed goes unpunished. And I will tell you, the homeowners on here will probably agree, when we pay the most for something, we tend to be the happiest with what we got because we get something good for the good money that we spent.
Absolutely. I love that mentality. Look at the insurance claims as a bonus. Like, it's not your lottery. You didn't win money to remodel your place. Just you got nice bonus, add to it and make something nicer out of it. When we come back, we have one more crazy story. This story is every contractor's worst nightmare about loopholes that kills $441,000 deal. It started as a regular job and ended up with a legal loophole that'll make you think twice before signing your next contract. Do not go anywhere. This story is worth waiting for.